Hello and welcome to my Real People, Real Results interview. We've got Toni Marshall here. Hello, Toni. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Fantastic. Toni is one of our incredible members. And today we wanted to talk about a really interesting topic. We want to talk about menopause. Toni's coming up to her 500th class with us.
Yes, in 6 more classes, I think it is.
Fantastic,
Yeah.
Toni. And how have you enjoyed it so
Oh,
far?
I love it. Yep, love it. Absolutely changed my whole concept of what the correct exercise routine is, really.
Fantastic, and that's also really important. We'll get into that a little bit later in the topic that we're talking about today. Can I ask you, can you share your experience on menopause and how it's changed your approach to training and daily life?
Well, it is definitely a life-changing experience. There's a lot of factors that go into why women stop exercising on life. And that might be mood swings, mental health. There's a lot of mental health that goes into it as well. And fatigue. Exercise for me did the complete opposite. It gave me something to focus on, worked me through all of those things that I just explained. Yeah, it really helped.
Made a massive difference. Yeah. What other, can you just briefly, any other sort of factors that you experienced through it that might have made you not want to sort of get out of bed and go to the gym?
Really fatigue for me, but I made myself do it.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. It's exhausting. Not sleeping. Lack of sleep is a big thing, which obviously leads to
hot flashes.
Hot flashes.
Yeah.
Hot flashes.
Yeah.
And I'm probably still going through the last of it now, and this is 10 years in.
Yeah.
So it's a long time for some and a short time for others, but overall, I think women need to prioritize
themselves,
health and themselves. Menopause is real. You can't just ignore it. And, for me, I didn't want to take any artificial,
that's a very interesting one. No hormone replacement?
No hormone replacement. I did take some general health supplements to help me through. But other than that, no, I wasn't interested in hormone.
Natural stuff you mentioned before?
Just natural metagenics.
Okay. That made a difference?
It did help, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Talk to me about your training. What made you incorporate both strength and functional training in your daily routine?
Strength for me, mainly because I worry as I'm getting older, I need to keep my skeletal health strong. I worry, with general falls and things like everyday life, picking things up correctly and having the strength to be able to, pick my grandkids up.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I actually read an interesting stat yesterday. So obviously osteoporosis is a big thing with menopause and later in life. It's basically when your bones get more brittle and you're more susceptible to breaks, fractures. I think they call them menopause fractures. And an interesting stat that I read, which blew my mind. So if you have a fall or whatnot over the age of 65 and you break your hip and you need a hip replacement, 29% of females within 12 months of having that hip replacement will die.
That's crazy.
Which blew me away, that statistic.
It's quite frightening, really.
Isn't it? Yeah, it really is. And obviously, strength training strengthens the body, does minor tears into the bones. So therefore, while that repairs, it strengthens the bone.
Yes, exactly. And the best advice I had years ago, actually, I've had a back issue for, 40 years.
Yep.
And started going to a chiropractor regularly 30 years ago, once a month.
Yep.
And the best advice he gave me was don't ever stop your weight training.
Fantastic.
Always keep your core strong because that'll support your back forever.
That's a very good point.
I've always remembered that. And on the odd occasion, after having kids and whatnot, when I have stopped, I've really noticed a huge difference.
That's the difference.
Yeah, huge difference. Yeah. But for me, it's the combination of training and it's the weight gain also that I couldn't control.
That's another factor.
I was going to training in other gyms and I honestly was getting no results.
Yeah.
And putting on weight. I think I put on up to 7 kilos, which was huge for me.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't lose it. No matter what I did, I'd train every day and it, walk, and it just wouldn't come off. But since I've been coming here, particularly, I've kept for most part, I've kept all of the weight off.
Yeah.
And I love coming to the training because it's achievable.
It's achievable.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's for everybody. It's not just for young people or older people. It's achievable for everyone.
And for those out there that aren't familiar with our training, we combine strength training. So we do big movements, and we also do functional fitness as well by using rip trainers, suspension trainers, battle ropes. So we do a combo of the two.
It's great.
Which
supports each other.
Yeah, it does.
It supports each other.
Yeah, fantastic. Excellent. So Toni, talk to me a little bit more about this type of training and how it's helped you with the menopause symptoms, joint pain, fatigue, anything like that. How has this training helped you? And have you got any injuries that you've been working around with it?
I've had a knee injury that I've been managing for the last 12 months or so. But the reason I like this training so much, and I really endorse it, because everything's interchangeable. So there's nothing that you can't do. If you come into the gym and there's an exercise that you literally can't do with an injury, there's always something that you can replace it with, which I love with the functional training and the weights. And so
working around injuries, not through them.
And not just stopping an exercise. Whereas when I've been to, larger gyms, you just skip exercises because you can't do it. There's nothing to replace it with.
Yeah. And for those at home, Toni probably won't tell you, but we have monthly challenges, and Toni is a queen in, she's won multiple monthly challenges against, all age brackets. And Toni's a leader and usually one of the ones to beat, which is just incredible. Obviously, picking your battles with there's some exercises that we do that
can't do.
Yeah,
because of knee injury.
Yeah. But some of them you just kill.
It's fun. It's great. I love a challenge. I love a good challenge.
It keeps it exciting. So there's a lot of misconceptions and fears about training and how scary strength training is, and don't do it, you can hurt yourself. What are the misconceptions and fears that you had before training, and how did you overcome them?
I think my biggest misconception that I had about weight training was I'm going to be huge. I'm huge muscles.
I hear it all the time. I'm too much.
I don't want to do that. I can't do it. But that's completely false. You build lean muscle, which I love. I like to look fit and healthy. So that's probably one of my biggest misconceptions. You're
going to put on too much muscle.
At all.
Good.
I've just built lean muscle, which I'm happy about.
Fantastic. Excellent. So tell me about what changes have you noticed in your strength and endurance and overall confidence since you've been doing this sort of training?
Well, I've increased my classes, really. So I used to do
last week.
8 last week. I might make for 9 this week, just because I can.
Good.
But I just really enjoy coming. And I would only go probably 3 or 4 times previous to this. And then when I leave here, I walk my dogs for 45 minutes just to loosen everything up.
Walking's
and
fantastic.
I found that's been really good if I'm doing a weight session here. And then you are a bit tight and sore, it really
complements it.
Complements it. It's great. But so working on picking up more classes, and I just enjoy it. It's just good and it's good for the mindset, I feel. If you've had a big day at work, you come in and do a class and it just puts you in the right frame of mind as well. And first thing in the morning for me as well.
And what about your strength for the weights that you're lifting? You're still pushing yourself with lifting?
I've got weights a lot in probably 2 months, I guess. Increased, quite a bit, and working on a little bit more as well. Within my limits, of course, but
that's probably that's one of the ones that I wanted to touch on. So obviously you have your days where you're not feeling as great as you were the day before. Okay, so obviously, how do you adapt that with the strength and what you're lifting from day to day if you're just not feeling as great?
I usually have a couple of different sets of weights, so a heavier set and a couple of kilos lighter. So I interchange them on the day. If I'm not feeling as strong as I was the day before, that's how I manage it, and that really works well for me, I find. Instead of just tapping out and going to a lighter weight straight away, I'll give it a go first. And then if I'm fatigued by the 3rd set, I'll just swap it out for something a little bit lighter.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, Toni. So just on the strength again, what advice would you give to other women going through this same stage of life? What advice would you give to them around strength training and finding somewhere to do it?
Okay. I personally would recommend going like to NZ or
we appreciate that.
Somewhere similar.
Some and other people out there that mightn't have access to coming to where we are. But what
So I found the big gyms quite intimidating. I didn't like going into the weights area. I felt it was very male dominated and I just didn't like the atmosphere to be honest. So I used to stick more to the classes and things which I wasn't getting results from. But I would say just take it step by step and really take it a class at a time. I would suggest.
Go and try a few.
Just try a few.
Try a couple options. Read some reviews.
Yep. And it's completely different to what you think it's going to be.
Fantastic. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. So Toni, what do you think's missing in the conversation around menopause and how women can prioritise themselves through this time of life?
I think not enough people talk about it.
There you go.
Yep. I think women are embarrassed by it. It's not just a short-term thing. It can go on for a long time in your life. And I think you have to really take control of your body. It's, as I said before, it's so much impact on your mental health, I found personally.
Yeah.
And everything that we do here at NZ has helped me.
Awesome.
Tenfold, like with the functional training, the weights.
But also the atmosphere. You always try and make it fun, enjoyable. People get along. It's there's that social element as well, which I think would be very important, getting out.
And I think probably what I haven't touched on is it's only 45 minutes. An hour tops with warm up and warm down. But that's what I love the most. You get in and you get so much out of your workout in that short period. Instead of spending an hour or 2 hours in a gym, you're getting everything you need within that period of time.
Yeah, fantastic.
And I just find, getting back to the menopause thing, I think women do support each other in that respect, but it's still not talked about.
Talk more.
What needs to be done if you want to cope with it in a healthy way instead of taking artificial supplements or
I've read a lot of stuff on
which some women have to do.
I've read some great research. Now there's a lot of great research around hormone replacement therapy. But first thing I would say, see a GP, not necessarily a GP, go to a specialist in the field.
Exactly.
That's what I'm reading is probably the number one thing that most people suggest. Find a specialist, get your bloods done correctly, make sure you go down that path if you do, because that can massively help as well.
And what works for one won't always work for another. But
exactly.
Exercise for me has really impacted my journey through menopause, to be honest.
Fantastic. Okay, Toni, last question. If you could give one piece of advice to the ladies out there who are hesitant to start strength training, what would it be?
Start now.
Do it.
Do it at the beginning of menopause. Don't leave it till you're halfway through, honestly. Of course, you can start any time, but I recommend starting it straight away. It'll be an absolute game changer for your mental health and for your body itself. And all the aches and pains you're going through, like you just work your way through it.
So it's never too early.
No.
I think I read the average age is 51 that goes through menopause. So that means if
younger,
well, that's it. And if 51's the average age, you're going to have probably half are going to be closer to sort of 45, 46, and the other half will be a little bit later. So never too early to start.
And you're doing yourself a favour by doing it. 100%.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Toni. Have a great day. Thank you very much, everybody, and we'll chat to you soon. That was the Real People, Real Results interview with Toni Marshall.